So you've probably been using AI for a while now, right? Asking it questions, getting answers, pretty standard stuff. But what if I told you there's like a whole other level, a profound shift available in how you actually interact with these tools? This isn't just about getting answers anymore. It's really about teaching the AI to think, in a structured, deliberate way. Today, we're doing a deep dive into Module 11 Advanced Prompt Techniques. And these aren't just like minor tweaks you make to your prompts. No, they can dramatically improve the AI's reasoning, its accuracy, and just the sheer quality of the output you get back. So our mission today is basically to help you move from being, let's say, a casual AI user to someone who really engineers the AI's thought process. Think of it like this, maybe. It's the difference between asking someone, hey, solve this complex math problem, versus actually guiding them through each step, like showing them the calculation method. That second approach, where you provide the structured thinking process, it almost always yields way better results, especially when you're tackling, really complex tasks.
Okay, so giving AI a structured thinking process. Let's dig into the first big piece of that, chain of thought reasoning. What exactly is that, and why is it such a game changer?
Yeah, it's fascinating, really. What's happening here is you're essentially asking the AI to show its work, just like your old math teacher probably insisted on.
Right. Show you're working.
Exactly. It guides the AI through a step-by-step reasoning process. And this isn't just about getting a better answer, though that's part of it. It's also about kind of peeling back the layers of the AI's black box.
Okay.
It lets us debug to understand where it might have gone wrong and ultimately, to trust its outputs more. That's huge for critical applications.
So it makes it more transparent.
Precisely. It's a big step towards explainable AI because it makes the AI's internal logic explicit. You can see how it got there.
That transparency sounds crucial for trust. But does the AI just do this? Or are there hurdles? Like, how do we actually implement chain of thought effectively?
That's a really good question. Because while the AI is capable, you definitely need to guide it deliberately first. And this is key. You absolutely have to break down complex problems.
Okay.
Divide those challenging tasks into logical, sequential steps. Small chunks.
Right.
Second, you need to make the reasoning explicit. Literally tell the AI, think step by step or reason through this problem.
Spell it out.
Yes. Third, you got to connect the dots. Make sure each step builds logically on the one before it. It needs to flow.
Makes sense.
And finally, verify intermediate conclusions. You sort of want to check that each step in that reasoning chain is actually sound before moving on.
Pretty clear roadmap. Could you maybe walk us through a concrete example so we can really see this structured thinking in action?
Absolutely. Let's imagine you need to figure out the most cost-effective marketing strategy, say for a small business, and they've got a $5,000 monthly budget. Your prompt would start with that clear goal. I need to determine the most cost-effective marketing strategy for a small business with a $5,000 monthly budget. Let's think through this step by step.
Okay, so you kick it off with that instruction.
Exactly. Then you guide its internal thought process. You'd structure it like this, maybe telling it, okay, first, I'll identify the key factors. Target audience, business goals, available marketing channels, ROI metrics, all that stuff.
Right, the variables.
Next, I'll analyze the potential ROI of different channels, keeping the budget and audience in mind. Then I'll create a balanced allocation across the best performing channels, making sure we can measure the results.
Measurement is key.
And finally, I'll recommend a specific budget breakdown with priorities for implementation and, importantly, success metrics. You're basically outlining its entire thinking journey for it.
I love that, showing your work idea, especially for complex stuff. But what if the goal isn't just guiding the thought process, but actually teaching it a very specific style or a pattern we want it to follow? That sounds like where few-shot learning comes in, right?
Yeah.
Showing examples. How does that elevate the AI's understanding beyond just, giving it direct instructions?
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's really about teaching by demonstration, which, let's face it, is often way more effective than just abstract instructions.
Like learning by watching.
Exactly. Think of it this way. Instead of trying to describe what a chair is with a bunch of abstract rules, you just show someone a few different chairs. You show them a stool, an armchair, a desk chair.
Oh.
The AI, or the person, learns the essence of chairness much more intuitively that way. So few-shot learning uses carefully chosen examples to teach the AI the pattern you want it to follow. It learns from seeing, not just from being told.
That's a really powerful way to put it. So, okay, when we're crafting these examples, is it just about throwing as many as possible at the AI? Or is there a better strategy?
Oh, definitely not just quantity. It's absolutely about quality over quantity.
Right.
Often just 2 or 3 really well-crafted examples will outperform, 10 mediocre ones. You also want diverse examples. Make sure they cover different facets of the task so the AI doesn't just get stuck on one specific type.
Good point. Avoid overfitting it.
Exactly. And this is crucial for the AI format consistency. You need to maintain identical formatting across all your examples. It helps the AI see the structure.
Okay, keep it clean.
And finally, if it makes sense for the task, maybe consider complexity progression. Start with simpler examples and build up to more complex ones.
That makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Let's take an example. Say you're, I don't know, a product manager drowning in customer feedback. It's often messy data, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you need concise, actionable suggestions, not just a wall of complaints. How would you use few-shot learning to get the AI to distill that into something actually useful?
Precisely the kind of task where this shines. We can give the AI a clear template to follow. So you'd prompt it something like this. Okay, I need you to convert this customer feedback into actionable product improvement suggestions. Here are a few perfect examples of the output I want.
Setting the stage.
Exactly. Then you provide those examples. Let's say, example 1 input. The checkout process took too long and I almost abandoned my cart. Output, improvement. Streamline checkout process by reducing steps from 5 to 3. Priority, high. Effort, medium. Impact. Potentially reduce cart abandonment by 15-20%.
Clear structure. Improvement, priority, effort, impact.
Yep. Then another one. Example 2 input. I love the product quality, but the packaging was damaged during shipping. Output, improvement. Reinforce packaging materials for fragile items. Priority, medium. Effort, low. Impact. Reduce damaged deliveries and associated return costs.
Okay. Different kind of problem, same structure.
And maybe a third for good measure. Example 3 input. The app crashes whenever I try to upload multiple photos at once. Output, improvement. Fix memory management and multi-photo upload feature. Priority, critical. Effort, high. Impact. Eliminate major user frustration point affecting 30% of users.
Got it. Critical issue there.
Right. And after providing those clear, consistently formatted examples, you give the AI its task. Now, please do the same for this new piece of feedback. Input. Your sizing chart was confusing and the medium I ordered was much smaller than expected. The AI now has a crystal clear template. It learns the pattern by seeing it done right.
Okay, so we've learned how to guide its thoughts with chain of thought and how to teach it patterns with few-shot. But what if? What if the AI could learn to critique its own work? That sounds like, wow, a whole new level of autonomy. Tell us about metaprompting. It sounds like asking the AI to review itself.
That's exactly it. And this really is where AI starts to become, well, its own toughest critic. It develops this sort of rudimentary self-awareness about its own output quality.
Interesting.
And it raises a really important question for us. How do we define quality for an AI? And then how do we empower it to actually meet those standards? So metaprompting involves asking the AI to evaluate and, crucially, improve its own outputs. It's moving beyond just generating stuff. It's about refining it.
That feels like a massive step forward. How do we set that up? What are the best practices for creating this kind of internal review board inside the AI?
Well, first, you absolutely have to set clear evaluation criteria. The AI needs to know what good looks like. Define specific quality standards for it to assess its work against.
Be specific about good.
Exactly. Second, maybe request multiple attempts. Ask for several versions, maybe with progressive improvements. Encourage that iteration.
Don't just accept the first draft.
Right. Third, actively encourage critical analysis. Have the AI identify weaknesses or flaws in its own responses. Ask it, what could be better here?
Make it find the problems itself.
Yes. And finally, implement feedback loops. Use the AI's own self-critique to guide the next round of refinements. Turn it into a genuine learning cycle.
I can definitely see how powerful this would be for, say, really critical outputs where quality is paramount.
Yeah.
You walk us through an example of a meta prompt in action.
Certainly. Let's stick with the idea of crafting, say, a really important sales email. Instead of just getting one version back from the AI, you'd structure the prompt differently. You'd say something like, okay, I need you to write a sales email for our new project management software. Target audience is small business owners. After you generate the initial email.
Okay, setting up the self-review part.
Exactly. Then you detail the workflow for it. 1. Evaluate this email based on these specific criteria. Clarity of the value proposition, how persuasive it is, the strength of the call to action, and how well it's personalized.
Giving it the checklist.
2. Now identify at least 3 specific ways this email could be improved based on those criteria. 3. Generate a revised, improved version that addresses these issues you found.
Okay, make it better.
4. Finally, explain why this revised version is better. What makes it more likely to convert recipients into leads? You see, this whole workflow pushes the AI to iterate, justify its changes, and really think about quality, much like a human editor would.
Wow. Okay, so chain of thought for reasoning, few shot for patterns, meta prompting for self-improvement. The real power then, it sounds like it must come from actually combining these techniques, right?
Yeah.
How do they supercharge each other?
Exactly right. That's where the true leverage is. Combining them. For instance, you could use chain of thought with few-shot learning. So you provide examples not just of the final output, but examples of the step-by-step reasoning you want the AI to follow.
Ah, teaching the process by example.
Precisely. Or you could apply meta-prompting to the chain of thought. Ask the AI to evaluate its own reasoning chain, find logical flaws in its thinking before it even gets to the final answer.
Checking its own work as it goes.
Yep. And for, really maximum effect, you could even try a triple technique. Use examples of self-improving reasoning chains. It gets complex, but the potential is huge.
And for those truly monstrous, like hair-pulling complex tasks, are there any other sort of high-level strategies beyond just combining these three that can push the AI even further? Oh, absolutely. For those really challenging situations, sometimes the best approach is just breaking the problem down. Decomposition, right, into smaller bite-sized pieces.
Divide and conquer.
Yeah. Or sometimes you need to force it to look at the problem differently. Ask it to consider it from a completely different angle. Shifting its perspective can unlock new insights. You can also guide it with Socratic questions, prompting it with why and how, to really deepen its exploration of the problem space.
Like a philosophical guide for the AI?
Kind of. And look, let's be real. We all hit bumps. If your advanced prompts aren't quite working,
Yeah, troubleshooting.
right. Usually it comes down to a few common things. If the AI's reasoning seems off, try to pinpoint the exact step where it went wrong and point it out.
Find the weak link in the chain.
Exactly. If your examples seem to be confusing it, maybe make them even more explicit, crystal clear. Remove ambiguity. And if the AI just seems overwhelmed by the sheer complexity, well, simplify. Break the task down even further into smaller, more manageable subtasks. Don't ask it to boil the ocean all at once.
This is amazing. So if you've been following along, you've essentially now got techniques that transform AI. It's not just a question-answering machine anymore. It becomes a sophisticated thinking partner. We've seen how chain of thought guides its problem-solving, makes its thinking visible. Few-shot learning teaches it patterns, intuitively through examples. And meta-prompting creates these self-improving systems, pushing the AI to constantly refine its own work. And crucially, these aren't just, academic ideas. They are practical tools, things you can use right now to dramatically improve your results on really challenging tasks. Whether that's analyzing complex data, creating subtle, nuanced content, or solving multifaceted problems. You're really no longer just asking AI for answers. You're collaborating with it, building this structured thinking partnership that leverages your expertise and the machine's capabilities. The quality gap between the outputs you can get now and what others might be getting, it's truly going to widen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this raises a really important question for you, the listener. How will you start to apply these techniques? How will you combine chain of thought, few-shot meta prompting in your own work to solve your most challenging problems? Because you really do now have the advanced toolkit. You can tackle pretty much any AI task with a new level of confidence and sophistication.